got a few minutes, and I know you wanted to be able to.
We got the time we need. They can do whatever they gotta do around it.
Well, we don't want to keep you too much, but I think that we're probably about ready to go here.
Yeah,
We got
let's
some
do this.
people, and we're ready to get it going. So, the voice. First of all, one, it's good to see you. I haven't seen you since the night on the freeway, actually. Let me help you. What is it I
I'm
get
gonna
from?
move mine closer.
Oh, that's yours. Huh?
Beautiful.
Okay.
Ah,
Let me help you out.
I got. Oof. I'm independent. That's part of my problem with all this shit. Yeah, so I saw. I don't remember seeing you, but I guess you were like 10 seconds away, and you continued to walk off, and I didn't, and then.
Yeah, I was right there recording the cha-cha when everybody was dancing, and I was, and I was live tweeting, and but we'll get to that. But first of all, what I'm saying, it's good to see you, and I'm glad that you're alive.
Me fucking do.
Clearly, it's a traumatizing experience for, not only for people who are there on the freeway, yourself, people everywhere. It's just horrible. But I wanted to first talk about a few things of what got you into to the Black Lives Matter movement and got you up here from Portland to Seattle, and then we'll talk about the accident, and the injuries that you've occurred.
Yeah.
Things like that.
Well, I want to apologize first of all. We did physical therapy today, and I put weight on my right leg and stood up and pushed back today, which was extremely painful, but it's getting me closer to a wheelchair. So I'm on a lot of pain meds right now. So I'm not as sharp as I normally am. But what got me into being fierce about the Black Lives Matter movement is that I am a 32-year-old queer non-binary person, which non-binary is under the trans umbrella, and Black trans women have the average lifespan of 35 years old. So I'm 35 and I'm queer and I'm non-binary, and so for me it's about fucking time that I start to feel scared for my life, and so that's why I'm fiercely Black Lives Matter, is because I'm fiercely for Black trans lives and Black trans women, and until they tell us that they feel safe, my job isn't done. We are the same. We're the same family. I'm the same. The only thing different for me and a Black trans woman is the color of my skin. So it's about time I put myself in front of some people with the color of my skin.
Right. And now you were down in Portland about a week before. Where'd that go?
Because of COVID, I left Mexico. I was driving around Mexico for a year and a half rescuing dogs. And then COVID happened, so I came back. I went to Indianapolis to hang out with a friend, and then I drove back to Portland. I got back to Portland the Friday that everything was going on with George Floyd. I had 2 weeks left in my undergraduate, my bachelor's, and so on that Monday I started being out and being front row and being tear gassed and all that shit. But I still had 2 weeks left of my undergrad to finish. So yeah, so I got back to Portland the Friday that all this shit started to happen. Finished my undergrad and was frontline for a month and a half, and then came straight from frontline to coming up to CHOP. I was at CHOP the night that Lorenzo was killed, the 16-year-old kid was killed.
So July 20th, or June 20th.
Something, I don't know, days
no,
are
it's
hard.
fine.
So I was here, the June 18th, because it was Juneteenth. Lorenzo was killed. We were up here for a day or two before that, so I got like the CHOP vibe for real. And then we came back before that shooting happened, but I had already told myself that, like, if Portland wasn't ready to occupy, then I'm going back to Seattle, because I think occupy is the next strategic move in the Black Lives Matter conversation and what we do. And so I had already decided that I was going to go up to, back up to CHOP, and then Lorenzo was killed. But that didn't change my decision to come back up to CHOP. So then I moved up to CHOP the Wednesday after. So I don't remember the first week of my accident. Are you checking if you can hear me?
Yeah,
Sorry,
I was just checking you out.
distraction.
Sorry.
Super ADHD.
Well,
So I was up here for, maybe a week or whatever, a full week in Seattle when that piece of shit hit us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So.
And now, even in CHOP, when CHOP was going on, there was all kinds of different groups and movements, kind of all, I guess you could say, working towards the same end goal.
Yeah, like different projects and spheres of things.
Right.
Yeah.
What made you gravitate towards the black films and that group right there?
I mean, to be honest, because I'm gay as fuck and they're cute. So it's all shit. Let's go with this. I think Katie came yelling out into the field one day to like get the fuck up off your asses and come march with us, and I was like, well, shit, okay. So then I just got linked by going on the marches first. And then my friend Brad Fox is a live streamer, and so we started work together, and he would do other live streams. Sorry, you're just hella distracted. I'm super ADHD, and you're just hella distracted from me. What was I talking about? Okay, so Brad Fox. Brad Fox and I decided to start working together and start splitting up like different marches and stuff. And so he went on different things, and I stayed with the Black Femmes. And so I was filming them for every day for maybe just like a week or whatever before this all happened. But I was there every day filming them, through the whole thing. And then then we came back the one time when the shooting happened, with the 16-year-old and the 14-year-old. And so that was also trauma bonding. I mean, we're just all hella trauma bonded, like all of us. But yeah, the Black Femmes for sure.
Right. And you were, a lot of people, you wouldn't remember this, but when you came over here into the hospital, people like you were a live streamer, like that was what you had been doing beforehand. But It sounds like you had started getting into streaming once you came up here.
No. I was a live streamer on the front line in Portland.
Oh, okay.
Like, I've got a lot of streams where we're just getting gassed everywhere and there's no escape. And those cops and lying and all that crap. No, I've been a live streamer, which is so weird. Like, I don't even, like, TikTok or, like, know how to set up shit. Like, I'm like a technological grandma. So it's weird that I'm, like, now the live streamer. But, for me, it's like, I think live streaming is just, it's security and it's protection for all of us out there. And I went to a march and there wasn't enough, or I was in Portland, I was up at the front lines and they're gassing us and there wasn't enough live streamers. And it's like, well, you're absolutely not going to talk or treat us the way that you're treating us with tear gas and rubber bullets and have no proof of this. Like, that's absolutely not what's going to happen to me. So I just started live streaming that way. But that's the thing too. It's like sometimes on the Black Femme March, not now that I'm not there, but I'm not there, but there's just not enough live streamers. So if you go to a march and you see that there's not enough live streamers around, like, throw up your live stream. It's not about the number of people who are watching, but it's about having video record of evidence in case anything happens. Like, that night, a bunch of random things happened, that we caught. Like, had we not caught all the stuff that we caught, like, live streams are pretty much the evidence that's, like, going to my lawyer is cut up, edited, just versions of, like, live streams, It's like, that is our proof. So if you end up at a march and there's not live streamers around, or a lot of live streamers, please, I'm asking you, please, throw up that camera and start live streaming. Like, we need more live streamers to document what's actually happening.
All right. You brought up that night, so we'll go there.
I tried, but I gotta have a little.
No, let me help you out.
Maybe this is the beginning. Yeah. Okay. Thanks.
You good right there?
Yeah, I'm great.
Okay. So that night, is there anything that you remember about that night, as far as going down into the West Precinct, going into the Freeway?
Yeah, Karen, my lawyer, might pop up in here soon and tell me I can't say something, so maybe, I'm not sure. But I remember, I remember that night. I remember some of the end of the Cupid Shuffle, which I would like to retire that song. That should never have to be anyone's last song or second to last song. That's like a shitty. Anyways, the Cupid Shuffle. If we could cancel that, that would be so lovely. So I remember dancing the Cupid Shuffle. I don't remember things past that. But the things I remember for that is, going to the West Precinct. We were going down there to have a beautiful vigil like we do every night with candles and flowers and moments of intentional silence and those sort of beautiful things. And we went down and there was a bunch of cops on either end that were guarding. I'm not familiar with the streets, but they were, they had blocked us so that we couldn't actually get to the West Precinct, and then they were all over. And so that obviously created tension. There's always tension when cops are there. So that created some tension, and then some cops were leaving in their cars, and then one cop had taped a piece of paper over his license plate so we couldn't film that, and then he got up out of like the garage or whatever and then parked, and then another cop who was in front came and pulled it off, and then he came out of the car like all hot and puffy, like we pulled off anything, and his buddy had to push him back in the car. I remember that. I have that taped. And then I also remember getting the connection every night, well, not every night, but lots of nights we have pizza fairies or people who deliver food for us because, we're out there for hours and we get really hungry. And so I had a pizza fairy connecting the dots, and they were going to meet us in the next intersection. And so we took over the intersection, which means all our people, which I don't know, maybe 30, 35, or I'm not sure how many, but our people took over all of the space in the intersection. We took over all the corners, and they have bike brigades, so they take their bikes and they put them in front of the cars. And sometimes we're lucky enough to have a car brigade who parks around us or whatnot. And so we were eating pizza in the middle of the intersection and talking about our 5 demands, which I'll do the 5 demands in a little bit. So we were talking about our 5 demands, and out of nowhere, a cop who's been circling around multiple times, who we have recorded, trying to hit us multiple times. Her name is Molly Clark. She's still on SPD. She ran through, and again, it's on my live. It's on a person named Willow's live. This is public. It's out there. But Molly Clark ran through our first intersection, and ran through the next line of the intersection of us, and miraculously no one got hit. It was turning her car around to come back through when one of our protection cars ran into the side of her car, disabling her from moving. She put out a distress call back to dispatch saying that she was surrounded by protesters and unsafe, which is just total load of bullshit. So like 50, 20, 30, whatever, 50 cop cars come out of the precinct, like just ready to come after us. So we had a couple people who got separated from the group, a couple people who were able to record her, and then the rest of us continued on. And we stopped at the next intersection and freaked out a little bit that we had just almost died but had lived, and then we continued on to the freeway, and that's what we were doing on the freeway that night, as we were dancing and celebrating that we had lived and that Molly Clark didn't hit any of us. And my last memories of that night is I had never met Summer before. Summer wasn't a person that I knew. I just been in Seattle for a few days. I don't know that many people. But Summer was just wearing a super cute outfit and had a cute cut off belly shirt that said Black Lives Matter, and had these just regular latex gloves on, and were popping their booty out on our friend Marilyn, and just dancing and doing this clap around thing, and just being so confident and sassy and just so self-assured of who they are. And I just was so drawn to that as a fellow human. So my last memories were just watching Summer dance and be playful, and thinking how beautiful they were, and how much of that energy sorry, I'm losing words, brain injury. How much of that energy I just appreciated and valued, and I wish I had more of in myself. Yeah, so that was a very long answer to your question.
It's fine. I don't believe that officer is with the SPD anymore. But
but is that paid leave, or is that fired? Is that what?
I don't think that she's. I don't have all the details, but I don't think she's any longer on the force. Now, what the details of that, I'm sure your lawyer or somebody else could probably follow up with. So you got on the freeway. And you guys had been, and for me, that was my first time covering the actual freeway.
Were you there the whole time with this?
Well, no, so what happened, I'm usually just up there in the chop, and there's always enough going on up there. Mm-hmm. And so then by the time I leave, you guys you're off the freeway or back. And so that night I actually was, we were done early. So it was a surprise to me, and I was like, let me just walk home because I live right by there. Yeah. And then walking home is when I saw you guys on the freeway. And I said, you know what? I've never talked to them on the freeway before. Let me walk out there. And then that's when I walked out there and I saw you guys. Now, there's a lot of people who might be watching the stream, and they understand about this accident, but they don't quite understand about being on the freeway. You guys have been going on the freeway for almost 2 or 3 weeks.
I think that was our 19th day on the freeway that SPD said that they had shut down the freeway and barricaded the freeway and that it was safe for us. SPD, every day we'd wait for SPD to say it was safe enough to go on the freeway before we go. So yeah, I mean, I was scared every time going on the freeway because we didn't have very many numbers, and it's the freeway, and it's, you know, life or death, and there's a lot of people out there who want to wish us harm. But I was told that it's safe, that the SPD has got it blocked off, and that, you know, that they've done it before. So yeah, for me, I'm scared of a lot of things in these protests. I'm scared of a lot of this stuff. I'm not, you know, there's a chant, are you scared or whatever. It's like, if I'm honest, yeah, I'm totally scared. But still, if a black person, especially a black woman, one of our chants is protect black women. If a black woman's willing to do something, then I need to fucking do it and go and put my body in front of her in some dangerous shit. Like, if I'm going to be about Black Lives Matter, then I need to be about Black Lives Matter and show up where my mouth is. And my mouth says that I protect black women. And so even if I'm scared, if a black woman is like, yo, we're going to do this because this is the way that we're protesting right now, it's like, okay, then that's what I'm going to do, you know? But regardless if I'm scared or not. So, yeah, I was scared that weekend. It was 4th of July weekend. I mean, it's eerie that my post before being hurt and all this stuff was me saying I'm scared as shit. Like, something's going to happen tonight. I hope everyone ends up okay, but, like, something's going to go down tonight. And, like, I'm also a witch and very intuitive, so there could be a lot of that too. But yeah, there's not any parts of this that isn't scary, you know.
Mm-hmm. Let's talk about some of your injuries that you sustained here.
Yeah, I mean, and
you don't
can
have
show
to
stuff if you want to. I got
it's
underwear
up to
today.
you.
The first day, you guys. It's the very first day that I got underwear on. It's really like, I'm a nudist. I appreciate my body. It's fine. But to not be able to have the choice to have clothes on, not to be able the choice to, like, just have our conversations. I mean, I cried when they told me that we could put underwear on today. So I have underwear on, and I'm just, like, so excited about it. But,
we don't want to wear you out, though, on the interview. I mean, you could probably tell people about some of your injuries.
Sure. So, will they don't want to see the scars and stuff? I don't know. My people have probably seen. So. Mm-hmm.
So your arm was broken in 3 locations.
Well, it's hard to say because I might probably not be totally correct on all this, but it's fine. Within reasonable. So I think the elbow was shattered in a couple spots, so I think they had to put some stuff back together. So, like, 3 locations, but I mean, how many shatters? Oh gosh, this is big. And then I broke my tailbone. The tailbone's completely broken. And then the pelvic, 2 spots in the pelvis. So, but this is one you can't really explain.
That tube
you're gonna
there.
have to show them
Okay.
this.
Well. Yeah, I looked away earlier when you were on the Zoom call.
No,
you were like, I can see the bar. I think that's.
So there's wounds that go right into my body. I don't know if you can see it, but that's because I broke my pelvis.
Mm.
I don't know if you can.
Yeah, I mean, the viewers can definitely see the bar that's right there across
the.
So
yeah. Can they see that? Probably not.
Yeah. Yeah, even you don't want to look at that.
I was studying to be a nurse. It's some interesting shit. But so that's the X bar, which is why I'm complaining so much, because there's just, if everything's not smooth and perfect like a princess in a freaking pea, it just kills my tailbone. The tailbone just killed, anyways. Mm-hmm. So the notes that I got. Something else that I got going on, which is really hard to kind of see, it's an edema, which is a collection of, like, the fluid. It's a collection of the fluid, so it's all even if you touch, you could feel that it's not like normal skin right there, right? Mm. So all of this stuff is like numb, and it's just like a collection of a bunch of skin. And so this is actually what hurts the most, is when I go to turn on my side, the edema doesn't have pressure, and so the pressure releases, so all that fluid moves, and so it's horrendous pain. And then when we go back to this, it's just, people, you can't touch my body without me screaming over here. It's bad. And then the ankle, you're going to want to show the whole foot.
Right.
You guys are probably.
Let me help you out here.
Oh gosh. Oh, what is over there? Oh. So then, yeah, my foot. Oof. Okay. This is the second cast. But there's 3 breaks at least in this one. Again, the ankle was like pretty torn the fuck up, so they had to put some like plates and stuff in it. Sorry, my tailbon's killing me. But this is the second one, and you can already see how loose it is. People have to like push it onto me. So it should come off in about a week for them to take out stitches, I want to say. And then this foot has been fine, but it's just taken like all of the bruising. So the bruising has been pretty kick-ass. Just it's constant pain. I'm at a level 7 or 10 all the time. It's hard to fall asleep. It's hard to stay asleep. I'm definitely in.
Put this cover back for you.
Oh yes, please. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
And then you guys, I don't know if all you guys had to see the X-Fix part. Ugh. That stays on this one stays on for 5 more freaking weeks. And then once this comes off, I can be in just a regular wheelchair, which means just my friends can pick me up and we can go to protest. And I can get in their car and not have to have a special.
So you're gonna keep protesting?
Are you fucking kidding me? It's my first stop when I get out of the hospital. Yeah, it's my first stop when I get out of here. I mean, we're not done until it's done. And I have even more to march for now. I mean, we've got justice for summer, and for me, but justice for summer, So no, yeah, I can't wait to get back on that. I'll probably just do the morning fun marches until I like fully recover. But yeah, I can't wait to hopefully. So if you're out there, if anybody knows any good hookups on an electric scooter, or maybe by chance selling one, I'm gonna need an electric scooter so that nobody has to push my ass up these hills on a freaking wheelchair. That would suck. But yeah, I mean, as soon as I can get out, as soon as I can get a person to go with me and help, I'll be at as many as many marches as I can.
Right, and I'm gonna get right back to the marches. Have the doctors told you like at what level of like 100% was a full recovery, the way that you were before the accident? Have they given you any kind of percentile of what you can expect your life to be when you leave this hospital?
I haven't asked that question. They say I'll be able to walk. I mean, I might have to have a cool badass cane for the rest of my life. I don't know, but they say I'll be able to walk. I don't know what else that looks like. And then like the stuttering and the losing the words and like the hard time having brain focus because of my brain injury. They say that hopefully with the fuzziness of the drugs and the medication, that when I'm off of everything, hopefully that goes away too.
Right, and it was a TBI, a traumatic brain injury.
Traumatic brain injury, yeah. I'm just like holding this pen.
Yeah, no, you should.
Yeah, it's a TBI, it's a traumatic brain injury, which is a concussion, but concussions are traumatic brain injuries. Your brain is moving around in there.
Right.
That's freaking tailbone.
You okay?
Yeah, it's just nonstop tailbone pain all the time, pretty much.
Well, you talked about getting out of here and the first stop being back into the protest. You mentioned earlier in the interview your 5 demands. I'm gonna put you on the spot because you said that your memory's fuzzy.
We do this all night.
Oh, okay.
Defund SBD. How much? 50% at least. I think that they did defund by 50%. So now we're going.
They're still talking about it.
We might be switching that to 80%. Where should the money go? To black communities. Black communities. It should be what's that word? Redistributed. In health and mental health, in education, in job sourcing, and community development. Like that's, in black communities. 3, who should you free all the protesters? 4, I know what the point is, but how do we get there? 4, something, no new youth jails. 4, what do we, see, I don't do the beginning part. I just yell back, no new youth jails. 4, I don't know. And then, what do we want for number 5, Jenny Durkin to resign? Damn it, I'm going to get this number 4, though. How does this go? I don't know. I'll think about it. But yeah, brain injury or not, baby. Every day we out there marching. I know there's a chance.
What do you have to say to people who, and it's probably a valid question, people are like, well, hey, I mean, you guys shouldn't have been on the freeway.
Sure. We shouldn't have to protest and put our bodies in the line to demand basic human rights. We 100% should not have to do that. That's not where we should be. as a human species, as a people. You're right, we shouldn't have to do that. But because we have to do that, I'm going to go ahead and disrupt where I need to disrupt and cause people to think about these issues and talk about these issues. And again, I'm going to listen to Black Femmes. If Black Femmes say we're taking this highway, we're doing this thing, we're going to this sit-in, like, my job as a Black queer person is to put my body in the way of Black folks and the harm that might come from them to them. So again, SPD, Seattle Police Department guaranteed, this was a 19th day guaranteed that highway was shut off and we were protected and we were safe for like the hour or two that we were going to be taking over the freeway. It was 19 days. They have routes to move the cars elsewhere. Like, they were fine doing whatever they needed to do for us to have the freeway to have to yell our demands and to be angry, and to come together as a community. So yeah, people can say all they want that we shouldn't have been on that highway, but there's a lot of things that shouldn't be happening that are happening, and we're gonna disrupt the things that need to be disrupted. And when Seattle Police Department guarantees that something is safe for you to do, they're the police. You're supposed to trust them, right? Like before, you're supposed to trust them. So, if they would have done their job, none of this would have happened.
Right. So I know that, and just so for the benefit of the viewers, there's a lot of legalities right now, the case going on. Your lawyer's actually here on the phone, and there's a reason. I'm sure some people got lots of questions like, well, what about this and what about that? Yeah. But there's a reason why we're not discussing that right now, and your lawyer's here. But I did want to reach out and say, that has the anybody from the side of the gentleman who hit you,
gentlemen, that's
come in.
Nice of you.
Well,
Have they reached out to me?
Yeah, have they reached out to you?
Not to my knowledge. No, I don't believe they have. And honestly, like, for what intention? Like, what would they even try to say? I have people who have reached out to me. I know this person's background. Damn it, I'm getting close to what I'm not supposed to talk about.
Well, you don't have to
I know this person's background, and that's all I should say about that. I don't know how to get out of that.
Right. Well, so earlier today, that's why I saw you on Zoom, and there's a lot of people that I hadn't seen since being there on the freeway that night.
Yeah.
Quite a few even new people and just other interested parties. When you got onto the video messenger there with TK and Joey, and they showed you the crowd that was there and people were applauding you, what were some of your thoughts?
Well, I guess it just goes back to like my own humanness or whatever. It's just like, it's just like the birthday party that you hope you invite people to and you hope people show up. So it was just really nice going on to any of the lives that day and seeing that there were people that showed up, and there was actually a lot of support for me in Summer, and there was a lot of love, and there was just, I just felt it. I just felt that people were excited to hear from me, and that I'm doing okay, and that I'm getting better, and I'm gonna stay getting better, and that I'm gonna make this event be one of the things that makes me in my life. I'm not gonna let it be something that like destroys me or sets me back in my own human emotional development. So I think people were just really supportive and excited to see me be well.
And speaking of support, so that was today. So thus far since you've been in the hospital, what kind of support have you gotten, either directly here or online or things like that?
Yeah. So because I'm still getting death threats.
You're getting death threats?
I've been getting death threats like the whole time. Today I just got another one that I should have died on the freeway, you cunt.
They put that on your social media?
Yeah, for sure. So I just, I'm sorry, brain injury. Can you repeat?
Well, I started the question asking you about what kind of level of support you're getting, and then you had brought up that you're getting death threats, and I had questioned you about.
So it's in the hospital, right?
Right.
Student jot it down so I don't forget again. Hospital. So I've been getting death threats, and so my status I can't be just like listed because media is calling me, and anybody can get that phone number, right? So I only have a few people who are allowed to come visit me, but those people, there's been so much support. There's beautiful flowers all around, balloons. I've got a tapestry. I've got, shirts and these beautiful fuzzy. I mean, I lived in a van and traveled around Mexico with my dogs. Like I don't have a lot of stuff and material things, and so pretty much all of this is just like physical support. But I've also got a lot of emotional support. There's somebody back home in Portland who not like romantically, but is just like really dear and I feel safe with, and I just don't feel safe with anything. Like I hate that door, my room door being open for any amount of time. It just feels so dangerous. So yeah, I mean, there's one person that I feel completely safe around, but that's pretty much it. But I do have that person as a support system, and they'll be back up when I'm transferring into whatever home I'm going into. But yeah, but the community in general, I mean, was only in Seattle for just a few days, right? And just the community, the Black Lives Matter community in general has just like put me in a cocoon, and I just feel so well taken care of and so supported, and there's just so many people and outlets who are reaching out to me and offering me, whether it be emotional support or, people are donating financially for financial support because it's going to be a really long road of recovery, like physical things like my beautiful salt lamp and my flowers and stuff. But yeah, no, there's been a lot of really great support. Yeah.
All right. And how's the people at Harborview been?
Harborview has been, oh yeah, I forgot to thank people. Thank you for this. People at Harborview have been great. Mostly they're, I'm assertive and I ask for what I need, and I was also a caregiver for 7 years, so there have been a few people that I've asked to get off my service, but mostly everyone has been amazing and really supportive, and they know what happened to me, and yeah, I mean, just been really patient and yeah, caring. I'm in a lot of pain in every rotation, and just sitting here, I'm in a level 8 pain.
Yeah, I've only got a few more questions for you. When the road to recovery, what does that look like for you? Like, do you have any idea yet of how much longer you'll be here in Harborview, and then the steps to maybe rehab and things like that?
So I'm hoping I'll only be in Harborview for another week and a half, but that's the number that we keep saying every week. So I'm really hoping, though, I've got to get myself into a wheelchair, and so that's what I've been working on, is being able to bear weight on this foot. So we could do that. There's a few more things that I have to be check marked off, and I've got to get my home situation. Anyways, so I don't want to go to a rehabilitation center because they're overrun, they're understaffed. It's a place that I used to work, and I think they're a COVID hotspot right now. So I'm not going to do that, but I'm going to move into my own 2-bedroom apartment, and I'm going to get a full-time caregiver who can live with me or whatnot, which I'm looking. If anybody's involved in the Black Lives Matter movement and is a caregiver, a CNA, has some experience, or just is a really caring person who wants to try, I'm trying to hire some people. I'll definitely pay well. But so I have to have caregivers set up in line to do this, for them to move me out. And then he didn't have any insurance on his Jaguar that he hit us with. He didn't have any insurance, so I'm not getting an insurance settlement. So all the money I have that's being donated is going to have to be the money that lasts me until who knows when. Like, I hopefully will get on some disability something, but I don't know how long it's going to be till I can even walk again, and what that looks like, if I'm going to be able to really work again. I'm just not sure. So yeah, the donated money is pretty much all the money that I might have for the next while. Right,
and speaking of that, then how can people support you financially?
Yeah,
people donate to your
GoFundMe
hospital bills.
GoFundMe is chill, except for they take 8% out of the donations, which like sucks. Venmo is my preferred way, and my Venmo is at It's Diaz Love. Again, Venmo at It's Diaz Love. And my, not my Facebook, my PayPal is lovediaz at pdx.edu, lovediaz at pdxpaulderekxylophone.edu for education. So those are my two preferred. My Venmo at It's Diaz Love, and my PayPal, lovediaz at pdx.edu are my preferred methods if anybody's trying to financially support.
Right. We'll get ready to wrap it up. I want to ask, what is it? I mean, the floor is yours there's a lot of people watching right now on Facebook Live and across all the different channels now. The Converge is out there and Twitch and all this other stuff. So it's an audience that's watching you. What do you want to tell the general public?
I want to tell the general public that the asshole who hit me and SBD should be so mad that I didn't die. I'm the exactly wrong person to leave alive in this situation. Settlement is not a word that I'm open to hearing whatsoever. I will not stop pushing until we get the justice we deserve, until Summer gets the justice they deserve, until all of the protesters get the justice they deserve. I am SVD's worst nightmare. So yep, that's what I want to let people know, is that I'm assertive. I know what happened. I'm not going to let this go. I won't stop screaming about it. Yeah, I mean, this is going to be, I mean, it likely is going to be multiple years out before we see any sort of resolution from this, but I'm not going to stop shouting about this. I'm not going to stop saying what I know happened. I'm not going to stop talking about Summer. I'm not going to stop. I'm never going to stop this until we get justice. So they should have killed me, and they're going to be sorry that they didn't. So I'm just not the bitch. I'm just not the bitch to mess with.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And any words regarding the protests and protesters and the current state of affairs going on right now?
Portland is wild right now. Everyone in Portland, please stay safe. Everybody wear a helmet. Everybody wear a helmet. If Summer would have worn a helmet, they might have lived. I think it was the traumatic brain injury that killed them. Everybody wear a helmet. If you're going to go out and protest, you've got to wear a helmet. Protect that head of yours. Stay together. Stay tight. We're always safer in our numbers. Listen to Black leadership. I know in Portland there's a lot of wily, white, anarchy, fuckery attitude, but listen to your Black leadership. Do not cause destruction and vandalize unless it's a Black person who's doing it. White people, that is not our role. We don't have the melatonin count to be able to do this. We're not authorized. If you're white, don't be destructing anything. If you're Black, you get to protest however the hell you want to. White people, we are here for artillery. We're here for backup. We are here to protect our Black friends. Don't take the center stage. Don't center your feelings in this. It's not about you. We are all late to the game of being fierce allies. It's not about us. But yes, please wear your helmets. Please come prepared. If you're in Portland, get your tear gas stuff for your eyes ready. Everybody have that shit on you. If you're near Seattle, keep strategizing, keep coming. You know, what really bothers me is Portland right now has got huge numbers, right? Huge numbers. That's not many more Black folks that showed up. That's white allies who were showing up and putting themselves in the way. In the beginning, Seattle had so many people. I've seen pictures of that fence line, of the umbrellas, and then the protesters. I've seen that fence line. Where the hell are Seattle's white allies? Where the hell are they? Okay, if you're scared of what happened and all these things in CHOP, I get you. I hear that. CHOP is not there anymore. Now we're going on our everyday marches. If you can't put your body next to a Black person and march with them on the streets, then don't you dare even think about being an ally. An allyship is a word, right? It's a word. We don't get to appoint ourselves as allies. People in the minority community that we're supposed to be protecting, those are the ones who appoint us as allies or not. You white folks who are sitting at home or who came just for the beginning just to take some Instagram fucking snapshots or whatever, like, you are not allies. Martin Luther King said, paraphrasing, the thing that's going to hurt everybody the most are white moderates. White folks who think that they're involved, think that they're doing a thing, think that they're there to help. You're not helping, you're hurting. Get your bodies back to the streets. If you're worried about the night marches, okay, but there's that 8 a.m. daily, Black Femme AM march that you could go to every single day, every day. Instagram, Queen Katie with 3 E's, Queen Katie. Follow her. She's the one who helps tell people where we're going for those marches. There needs to be higher numbers in Seattle's. And it's white folks that are those numbers. Where the hell are the allies? I don't see them. I don't see them on the freeway with us, and I don't see them showing up now. So you better fucking get your shit together, because you're supposed to be protecting Black folks, and you're not. Portland's doing good. I mean, there's a lot of white fuckery, and there's a lot of not listening to Black leadership. There's a lot of not listening to Black leadership in Portland. but at least those allies are out there and standing in between some shit. Seattle, like, you gotta show up. You gotta show up. I mean, or this movement. I mean, we need everybody. So please get out of your couches and into the streets. You know.
All right, Diaz. I know we actually went over time, so I hope the nurses don't come in and kick me out. Man, I appreciate the opportunity for the interview, and it was good for me too, just to have a conversation. I've been trying to talk to people who were on that freeway that day. That's one day that I'm glad that I didn't have my stream on. It was one of the few days where every time I saw something, I turned my stream on. And that day, something told me, let me just try live tweeting. And I'm so happy. And the first thing that I told people is I'm so glad they didn't see what I saw.
I can't imagine having to see what you all saw. I've seen the videos. I know how many times we spun in the air. I can't imagine having to be someone on the ground seeing that. So I am so sorry that you saw that. Please, mental health is so important. Everybody needs to be in therapy. Everybody, especially now with all of this. Like, please, if you were there on that freeway that night, if you've seen those videos, like, everybody, please take care of your mental health. It's not anything to fuck around with. Going to therapists makes you stronger. It doesn't make you weaker. Like, that shit is so important. Mental health is key.
All right. Finish right here. I'll talk to you soon.
Bye. I love y'all. Thanks, Omari.